Good day, guys. You're welcome to another video. This is Chat Lord Forex, and I will be looking at another live trade in this particular video again. Just like I promised you guys that from time to time I will always give you guys trading ideas, live trade, just to show you that hey, with a proper reading of price action, you can always take your trade, pick the direction and then make the trade go the way it's supposed to go. But it all boils down to how much knowledge of how to look at the chart from left to right that you have, that will determine exactly how much success you are going to have, taking your trades. So in this particular pair, I will be looking at AUD card. This is a trade I took yesterday, and so far the trade has been running and it's been in a very good profit. So I will be explaining exactly what I was looking at on this particular chart, what get me into taking this trade. The more we do this, the more we get to learn, the more we get to understand exactly how to look at the market, to know exactly what the way we should be looking at it and how we're expecting the market to perform. So in this particular pair, please don't forget that always subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chat Lord Forex. That is our YouTube account. Please subscribe so that whenever we post trade like this, most especially when we post the trades first hand, you can always be the first to see it. Even sometimes you can take advantage of the trade is still running. Maybe you can still get a good spot to at least join the trade and then ride in to make some profit, to make some money. So let me just quickly dive into how to look at this chart. So currently, if you're looking at this particular pair, you see that sellers were sitting right at this place where I marked here. Sellers were pushing down aggressively. Sellers were pushing it down, then getting to this area, which is a kind of a support area right here. I see that hey, they couldn't break this particular area where they get to. So from here, the sellers were pushing like that to that particular support. Then from there, buyers start to come in. So buyers coming in here, buyers coming in like that, get to the same area where the sellers are sitting, where they are pushing aggressively previously. What do you see? We can see that the sellers are struggling right now. Look at how much of a push they were able to make at this particular spot. A lot of people will be selling here, looking at it, using this particular previous resistance here as a reference to say, okay, maybe it's going to sell again. And what do you know? The market, use this little support right here. It bounce, it retrace, bounce very aggressively, then leave this particular resistance for dead, then it shoot up very aggressively like that. So the market moving up very aggressively like that, and then when it get to this top, then it start to go ranging, start to go sideways here. At this particular point, there is no sellers. It's just the market halt. It's just a halt in the market. It's just a case of the buyers couldn't go anymore. There's no money. When it starts to range like that, what exactly is happening in the market? You should always want to ask yourself of what exactly is happening in this market. What is it doing? When you get into the why of what is it doing, then you have an idea of how to approach it and exactly what you should be looking at going forward. So when it starts to hold right here, I was like, okay, let's see if the sellers will start to come in right now. So what do you know from this particular from this spot here? Then right here we can see sellers start to come in. So the sellers coming in. Why do we say seller coming at this stage? Because the sellers breach this little range, this little support that is sitting right there. This is a little support here. You break to say, okay, right now we say, okay, the sellers are in. So now that the sellers are in, what are they going to do? We always want to look at, okay, what are they going to do? So when the sellers push down like that, what do you see? It retraces to about 20-30% of this particular push that he make. It retraced to about 20-30%. I was like, okay, sellers are still there, the buyers still having very little or no chance in this market at all. Then they push. What do you know this time around? Look at the way the sellers push, very little compared to what they did previously. They push, they break this support right here, go down a bit, but the buyers still standing no chance, but telling us that hey, this sellers is slowing down too. As much as we don't have the buyers doing so much to take in, maybe taking it all back, but the sellers too didn't go far compared to what he did right here previously when he moved down like that, you know. So I was like, okay, let's wait and see. Then again, the sellers push after this little buyer that was not able to do anything here. The sellers push down again, make a new low. If you look at this particular spot that I mark right here, you can see that hey, little buyer, then sellers push and break down to give us a new low. We have a new low to this at this particular spot. We have a new low. Then it retrace. What do you see? It retrace 100%, telling us that hey, are the sellers dining out, or what exactly is happening to the sellers? Then we give the sellers a chance to push again. Since this is a sellers area, the sellers are sitting here. Then now let's see what the sellers are going to do right at this point again. And what do you see from this particular spot? We see the sellers push. They couldn't even meet up the record they set previously to this spot. They retrace a little bit, then the buyers taking it all over again. Then at this stage, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see this particular area very well. From this place, the seller sitting again, it couldn't go again. Then buyers coming in now aggressively. And what do you see? Look at this seller here. Look at the, let me clean up the chart a little bit. Look at this seller here. They do what they push, but they couldn't do anything. Look at this wick that is living at the bottom, telling us that hey, it seems like the sellers are finally dying out, because this is their cookie jar, this is their selling point where they'll be hitting it from this point, from this point, from this point, then right now at this point again, but they couldn't do anything, which is telling you that the sellers are failing, the sellers are dying out. And what do you see? We see the buyers coming up like that, taking it all back, leaving this particular seller, almost leaving it for dead. So I was like, okay, at this point I think these sellers that are coming down, they are dining out already. The buyer seems to are gradually kicking into this market. Then we're looking for the final push, you know. Since it's still the same area where the sellers are pushing, we want to see, okay, let's see a weakening of the sellers coming in now to say, okay, the sellers are dying out, they are no longer interested in this market. Then probably the buyers can step up. So at this particular spot, this is a AUD card 4 hours chart. So I will be moving into 1 hour. I will be stepping it down a little bit to the 1 hour time frame to watch the momentum of these sellers, these very weak sellers that are coming in here for me to pick my entry. So let me take it down to 1 hour right now. Look at the sellers right now, you know, very weak, retracing, very weak, retracing, very weak. So it was at this point when I see the sellers, you know, slowing down, very slowing down so much, and compared, I mean, forget, I mean, with the fact that hey, this is a mini support right here coming from this area. Let's see. So when I see that the sellers couldn't do anything again, this was when I took my buy here yesterday. I took the buy and the trade start to perform. Currently at this point in time now, I will be moving my stop close to my entry, just to tell you that I no longer have any risk on this trade. I'm still looking to take it to the maximum profit, to the top where the sellers are previously sitting here. So if it touch down a little now, I will probably be adding more positions to this trade, because I have no risk currently on this chart anymore. This is telling us that with a proper read to the market, we can always look at the chart, read it like a book, and then accordingly pick up our trades. So please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, watch many videos that I've done like this of a live trade to give you an idea of exactly how to simplify, look at the trade like this, and pick up your trade. Thank you guys.